Kia ora tātou, very warm welcome to you. You're joining us here on Hard Hat Talk. I'm your host, Greg Ward, and this is brought to you by the Building Officials Institute of New Zealand. Today we are joined by Dan Reynolds, Technical Training Advisor from Winstone Wallboards, GIB. Very appreciative, of course, of the support that GIB provide for us as a premier partner for our members here at BOINZ. And I'd like to say a big thank you to GIB for that, and also a big thank you to Dan Reynolds for joining us here to give us a GIB update. Dan, how are you doing?
Hi, doing really well, Greg. Thanks for having us back on again.
Absolute pleasure. Now, look, the last time we spoke, we were talking around the brand new GIB plant at Tauriko, and I'd love to know, how's that all been going?
It's been going really well. We're actually really looking forward to beginning to show off the new plant. And so we're officially starting our group factory tours in February of next year. And so the tour dates for February are actually almost booked up. So if you are keen to put a group together and come through the factory, get in touch with us and we can certainly make that happen.
Well, that sounds fantastic. I really would love to be part of one of those tours. And for our members, make sure that you do book as swiftly as you can, because those dates will fill up fast. Now, if you'd like to make a booking, just contact your branch chair. They will coordinate with National Office and be able to make that booking for you. Now, Dan, last time we spoke, we talked around the new factory and some of the sustainability elements of the new build. I'd love to know, how have your aspirations matched up with the practicalities of running the plant?
Yeah, look, I mean, I guess it is still really early days as far as incorporating plasterboard offcuts back into our GIB plasterboard. And at this stage, there is a small percentage of the content of the board leaving the plant that is made up of recycled plasterboard from manufacturing waste. And we're looking to gradually increase that percentage as things go on. As you can imagine, I guess the difference between recycling offcuts of GIB Aqualine versus GIB Braceline versus even GIB Standard back into our board, it does have a slight difference on how the finished product does perform. And so we just need to go, gradually increase those quantities, always rechecking to ensure that we are able to get recycled plasterboard into our product, but at the same time not detracting from the overall performance of our products and systems.
Well, look, one of the things that we spoke about last time as well was the fact that you had just released the very much updated GIB site guide, which is a brilliant resource for our members here at BOINZ. Can you let us know, do you have any other pieces of literature that are in the pipeline?
Yeah, so in September, we actually released 2 new pieces of literature. So the first one being an updated version of the GIB Rondo metal Batten systems book, and the second one being a much awaited update to the GIB fire-rated systems manual.
Brilliant. Can you tell us a little bit about what might be in those 2 documents then? Firstly, with the GIB Rondo systems.
The GIB Rondo metal Batten systems book, the previous one was released quite a while ago, and it was more of a marketing piece with the different components and things like that. Whereas the new document's a little bit more technical heavy, providing some more technical guidance. There's a couple of questions that we would get often asked through the helpline. A really common one would be whether GIB Rondo metal battens could be used as a bottom cord restraint. And so we've included some clarification around that. And so the answer is yes, they can be used as bottom cord restraint for trusses, provided that they are direct fixed. If they're clip fixed, they won't be able to provide that restraint, as they can effectively slide within those clips. The other thing we get asked quite a lot frequently, given the changes with H1, there's a bit of a concern around the weight loading on the back of a plasterboard ceiling, given the extra insulation that's required with the H1 changes. And so we've done a little bit of research and digging into that. And so we've set a figure on that. So the maximum weight per square metre of insulation sitting on the back of a plasterboard ceiling is 4.2 kgs per square metre. And after chatting with our friends over at Comfortech, their heaviest bat for a ceiling, their R7 Super Bat, that comes in at a lighter weight than what that is. So yeah, we're not overly concerned about insulation causing sagging between Rondo metal batten systems.
Brilliant. And alongside the documentation for our members, what further resources might they have access to?
I mean, firstly, we've actually also included the option in the book to provide basically provides specification codes similar to our current systems. For we've got our fire rated systems and our noise control systems all have a code, and so actually being able to specify GIB Rondo metal batten systems and the individual components for those, whether they're clip fixed or direct fixed. Being able to specify an actual code is really helpful for for contractors on site, also merchants when orders are being placed, just to make sure that they're getting the exact right components that are being specified. We've also updated a lot of videos through our website, and so we've got a bunch of new videos on the website around basically around Rondo metal batten systems installation guides. And so we find these are actually really helpful. Everyone on site these days seems to have a smartphone, and they can quickly jump on YouTube and have a look at these installation videos if they're a little bit unsure. So yeah, they're becoming a really valuable resource out there.
Now, you spoke about two documents, and the second of these is the GIB Fire Rated Systems book. Can you tell us some of the changes that we might find within that?
So in the past, our mindset around releasing new literature has kind of been to take the old book and throw it out and make sure you get your hands on a copy of the new book. Whereas things are a little bit different with the fire book this time around, because we haven't actually really changed anything that was in the old book. So if you've got an old book, the information in there is still current and is still all accurate. Whereas what we have done is we've actually just added a whole lot more information and a whole lot of new systems and details.
And I'd like to touch on a few of those, such as the mass timber encapsulation systems and fire-rated boxes or bulkheads.
We're seeing more and more mass timber construction. It's got a great environmental benefit, but also it looks great, right? We're seeing a lot more of these architecturally designed structures being used with mass timber. And so that's really great. However, when a structure is built purely of mass timber, that adds some extra concerns when we're talking about fire, right? You've got an additional fuel load that can potentially be added in the event of a fire. And so, yeah, we've had to provide some guidance and some systems on how to protect those mass timber structures. So we've got a series of new systems in the book, and these systems aren't necessarily a typical two-way fire-rated system. They're more a fire-rated system that is designed to prevent any early onset of charring to that timber. So they're designed to protect that timber structure in the event of a fire.
And in regards to the bulkheads?
Bulkheads are something that we see for surface penetrations going through a concrete slab. And we see these quite often, more often than we'd like, designed and constructed poorly, to be fair. And so we felt that it's really important that we actually provide some really clear guidance on how these can be detailed and how they can be constructed to try and help the industry have a greater understanding on how to do these without them failing prematurely. So yeah, we've provided some additional details and systems to help achieve that.
It's fantastic that we've got this level of detail. I'll touch on another element here. Obviously, having protection on both sides of a structure from fire is very important. So two-sided exposure systems, what are we seeing in the changes there?
Yeah, so I think we actually might have touched on this last time, but so for those who weren't aware, we developed these new systems, these two-sided exposure systems. Basically, this would be a system that's capable of protecting a load-bearing frame from fire from both sides at the same time. So a situation where you might see this commonly used would be a load-bearing wall supporting a mezzanine floor above. So a load-bearing wall, but within a single fire cell. And so, yeah, we've incorporated two new systems, a 30-minute option and a 60-minute option. And just to give you a bit of an idea on the change there, so historically, you would have ended up doing a one-way system on all sides of that wall, which we felt was a little bit overkill, but it was just the way it's been done for years. And so we did some testing and development to establish what is actually required to provide adequate protection for these. And yeah, we're able to effectively decrease the amount of plasterboard used to provide that protection. The example for the 30-minute option, in the past, you would have installed a 16mm layer of GIB fireline to both sides of that frame, whereas now we're able to get away with a 13mm on both sides of that. And I guess that might not sound too significant, but I know from first-hand experience installing 16mm fireline is, it's not light, right? So being able to decrease that down to a 13mm product is a win for the end users at the end of the day.
And I'm sure that as people watch this, they'll be nodding along with that experience as well. What are some of the other elements there that we've made some changes to in this document?
A key thing that we've noticed over the last few years, but particularly recently, talking to people about what they'll want to see out of a new fire book, it's just details, details, details. Our designers, they love to have more and more details that they can draw on for so many different situations. And obviously, our details are generic and they can't cover every scenario, but we try to provide as much detailing as we possibly can. And so, that additional 50 pages, a lot of that is taken up with new detailing.
Just give you maybe highlight some of these elements here. Junction details for composite floors, perhaps, and maybe fire stopping for penetrations through those top plates.
I guess we're seeing so many more, concrete mid floors, or whether they're rib raft or Stolton and rib and infill flooring, and so providing details for those junction details where a firewall butts up underneath one of those types of floors. Also, fire stopping for penetrations running through the top plate of a fire-rated wall. We've also got new detailing in the book for brass wingback and shower mixer penetrations. Also, some additional details for floor-to-ceiling junctions that incorporate either just standard timber battens or the GIB Rondo metal batten systems. And this is a tricky one that can be easily not done correctly, but just being able to have control joints on GIB Rondo metal batten system ceilings, or suspended grid ceilings, being able to put control joints in them and how to still maintain the fire rating when you've got those control joints. Lastly, an extra inclusion would be for structural timber penetrations and structural steel penetrations running through a firewall.
Well, it sounds like it's a comprehensive update for us, and I certainly would urge our members to delve through these two documents in relation to the work. In terms of further support, how best can we contact you if we want to query some of the elements here?
First and foremost, the easiest way and often the quickest way to get some basic information is straight through our website, gib.co.nz. There's a great source of resources on there. And I guess if you can't find what you're looking for on there, or if you need some more specific information, definitely give us a ring on 0800 100 442. We're more than happy to take your calls and go through any extra information you might need.
Brilliant stuff. Look, it's always a pleasure to have an update from you, Dan, and update from GIB. And certainly for BOINZ as a premier partner, we'd just like to say a massive thank you for your continued diligence in terms of ensuring the best quality products and also the best quality installation information for the industry as well.
Yeah, look, we appreciate you guys. Our BOINZ members, often you guys are our gatekeepers to make sure that our products and systems get installed accurately and as per the specified. So look, we appreciate all the members of the BOINZ team.
Thank you very much indeed. Dan Reynolds there, Technical Training Advisor from Winstone Wallboards, GIB. This is Hard Hat Talk, brought to you by the Building Officials Institute of New Zealand. I'm Greg Ward. Thanks for joining us. Ka kite anō.